Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Fatamorga. Playing on the northern side as the Orks, we've got Yang Wen Li. And playing on the southern side as the Tau Empire, we have got Bad Remilia Scarlet. Scarlet will be opening up with a couple of stealth suit teams, a jetpack research, Tau Barracks, and a plasma generator. And Yang Wen Li will be going for a couple of Slugger Boy squads, Grot Squad, Boys Hut, and a generator. Orks vs Tau, not a very common matchup that we tend to see on the channel or in general, really. Quite an interesting matchup as the Orks have got some interesting options for them. The Big Mech, while normally, going into most other factions and either trying to get some map control or, just do some general badness to generators and such, well, no, the Big Mech's got a special job when they're up against the Tau, as he can see these little cheeky stealth suit teams, which we will actually go on the Tau side of things so we can see what they're up to. And yeah, you can just basically bother them, so no amount of mischief will they be able to pull off to be able to do some bad stuff to the Orks. In theory, if the Big Mech can keep on top of them. And interesting that we are going to see some Kroot out for Scarlet, which, quite good investment. If you are able to get them out and they can munch on some dead Ork, they obviously get their health increase and become a little bit more of a pain to deal with in Tier 2 when they get their Feral Leap. If the Orks go for a mass of big shooters, then the Kroot Carnivores can make sure that those big shooters are basically no good. Ooh, very aggressive teleport from the Big Mech, so no running away from him at the moment. And yeah, so maybe it'll be a massive Kroot Carnivores early game, get the firepower from the Barracudas and their Sky Ray missile gunships later on, or maybe even their blooming, what do we call them? The invisible tanks that do lots of good damage, but they're really soft and easy to kill. Completely forget what they're called. Devilfishes. That's what they're called. I remember them now. Look at him. Yeah, he thought he was safe. For all your stealthy nonsense. The Big Mech will cause you some big problems. Kroot, beautiful shade of blue are these Kroot as well. Blue and red. Leaves them all dead. Not great at doing damage to buildings. But I suppose the Tau aren't really going to be thinking about doing much early game aggression inside the Ork base anyway, on account of all their buildings having shooty bits and Tau not being the most resilient of armies to begin with anyway. The Tau commander is going to be the mainstay of the fire support then. Getting bonked in the face, not really what it wants to be. So we'll jump pack away. And a war banner, looking quite precarious at the moment, will be cancelled. Only to then be... yeah, there we go. Only to then be rebuilt elsewhere. As we saw that the war banner was on red health then. Then just pop it down a fresh one. Comes out yellow health. So just saves you having to repair it, really. At no extra cost. Tau Commander being bullied and chased around by the Big Mech. Just ever so slightly... are you faster? Hold on. Well, there we go. That's my experiment. Wasted. Oh, no, man. He's chased after him. I think. Yeah, look at him. He loves it. Never turn him down from a fight. In fact, the Big Mech's pistol does a little bit of damage towards the Tau Commander. Obviously, Tau Commander out DPSs him in a ranged engagement. That was fun. Decap on the Relic. Major pain in the backside for all, but same goes for the Relic for the Tau. Second squad of Kroot. 5+ health at the moment. And quick picnic break there for falling back. Putting the pile of guns and war banner on the front line. Always a dangerous thing to do. And is that the first squad of Shooter Boys? That is a delayed squad of Shooter Boys, but they've got 2 war banners now. Pile of guns comes out, which means they can either go for their big shooters or maybe some Storm Boys, which I assume if we're seeing a bunch of Kroot and Storm Boys would be the way forward, and this Big Mech is just point blank refusing to leave that tower's backside alone. Well, that's what the Power Claw's for, I suppose. There's the Storm Boys. And the Kroots are going to be struggling to engage with this without either more Kroot squads. I mean, you could go for a Fire Warrior squad, I guess, but the Storm Boys would just jump right on top of them. There's no real other option. Unless, of course, you want Vespids. Vespids aren't exactly designed for pitched battles. It's more for hit and run kind of scenarios and base damaging. So that's the only way that you would see the Tau being aggressive inside the Ork base at the moment. Orks teleport once again. towards the town rather than away from them. Kroot keeping on top of the shooter boys as another squad of Kroot come on over, and whatever the Kroot eat, so too do all the others benefit from it. So it's a very wise investment to make. Oh, go on, Grots, get in there. Have a good old scrum, why don't you? No. Well, that's free food he's donating there. That's a free bit of flour lasagna that the Kroot can absolutely munch on. Which is less than ideal. There they are, look at them go. Happy days. And that's actually a lot of meat for the Kroot. Look at them, happy picnic. Little birdies. Now obviously, if you're familiar with Tau Law, Kroot, basically they are what they eat, so I wonder how their DNA modifies when they eat grots. Do they become just a bit more cynical? A bit more stabby, I wonder. We've now got 2 squads of shooter boys. Don't know how I feel about this, but Yang Wenli is a smart man. Knows more about this than I do. Goes around the flanks, actually. Okay, alright. And I assume, yeah, going to be smashing up things inside the base. I mean, the Tau don't have... they're going to go for an upgrade on this listing post over here. Kroot will try and sort them out. More grots, again. Free food. And there is the Feral Leap. So Tier 2 has been finished for the Tau at the moment. Current economy is 86 and 30. And 104 and 20. Quite a significant difference in blue income. With that being said, Orcs are quite blue heavy in the economy. So I don't know if that's actually going to mean a whole big load of difference at this present moment in time. Every opportunity they've got. But not them when they're hungry. Give them a Snickers. And that Feral Leap just basically negates all the firepower. That's why Yang Wenli's only gone for one big shooter on one of these squads. Also got a knob in there as well, just to help them with some close combat shenanigans should they need. Storm Boys coming around. Big Mech does a little bit of a Uno reverse. Although now he's in a bit of a bind. Nowhere ready to run. This does mean that the Kroot don't have to go in one direction to tie them all up now. They're going to go in several directions now, which will increase the amount of micro required to provide a satisfactory engagement. Blasting research finished. Increased blastiness, as the name implies. Slugger's attempted to go for the critical location. Don't think the Kroot will be bothering them at the moment. Oh no, never mind. Ah, the old caster's curse. Take that. Hearing me from the past. And the Kroot don't seem to be... I mean, that's the one problem when you go melee merced. Hold on. Let me rephrase that sentence. When you go mostly melee, is that the enemy all they have to do to avoid damage is by running away. So one Kroot Carnivore squad has been wiped out. Another 2 squads over here just introducing themselves to fine dining, while also decapping this at the same time. I think they are. Well, look at them multitasking. Well done, guys. Good job. There's Devilfish. Now, the Big Mech will be able to spot them. There is also a squad of knobs here, which the Big Mech, I imagine, will join at some point. So, going to make sure this Devilfish has got areas to fall back in should they need to. Although a smart Big Mech man will jump in and either get a landing in there where it's hard for them to move because of pathing, or he's also got his Big Mech Big Zap. There he goes right by the side, gives him the zap, and starts opening them up like a can of worms. No need for AV against the Devilfish troop carriers. Just mean beans with large axes. That one singular Kroot there really scuppering Yang Wenli's plans then. Forced them to move further back a little bit than they would have otherwise have wanted to. The Daka line is ever increasing, and that front line of knobs will give the shooter boys plenty of breathing space. Also, all that knockback from the Orcs melee attacks as well. But the Kroots, you've not really... Actually, no, you've eaten a fair bit, actually. You do have plenty of extra health, but your numbers are falling, and your armour, all the while, isn't amazing. Now got triple big shooters on these boys. And double big shooters on those ones. One singular Kroot jumping in before being thrown out. And is that the sound of a barracuda? It is indeed the sound of a barracuda. So they don't have the land force that they probably would have wanted at this stage of the game. The Orks are quite a sizable mass of lads as well. They will have that health regen and morale immunity due to all the amount of boys in there. Also the speed boost as well when you have a large amount of Orks standing near each other, which will help them keep away from the remaining Kroots, which is but one squad. And still munching. Always got something in their chops. Now going to start transitioning away into those fire warriors. We'll be able to keep them safe from the storm boys and the big mechs by popping them inside the devilfish. So not a bad idea. Just a shame that all the effort into bulking up those Kroots has gone awry, but there's no point in investing in a done strategy, I suppose. There we go. Powerful placement of that snare trap. Big mech comes in, but my goodness, that's the worst place to jump in. Surrounded absolutely by all those devilfish. Although not quite getting all that much damage off, actually, in all fairness. Big mech also spotting that devilfish, zapping it into place. But the Kroot coming in for a flanking manoeuvre. And Yang Wenli may have bit off more than he could chew here. Not realising that he was about to teleport all his knobs into the middle of a gun rally there. But they are quite durable, so they might be able just to shake it all off. Second squad of knobs as well, so if those guys go down, they're ready to replace them. Yang Wenli with the victory countdown in at the moment. Might actually take this big mech down. Dear oh dear, that's a major problem. He's got plenty of money to replace him. Probably not what he wants to spend his money on at this stage. So one squad of knobs is going down, and the Orks are not looking as confident as they did 5 seconds ago. A couple of big shooters have been taken out in that engagement, I imagine. Yes, they have indeed. Good lord, the positioning, it just goes to show that even if you've got a superior fighting force, if you're engaging at the wrong angle, and all these war banners, that is prime real estate for the Tau to start gentrifying. The Grots have not been infiltrated neither, sir. They will be struggling to stay alive from this barracuda. Are you researching it? No, not at the moment. So there we are. So the quick ganners at the economy is 133 and 50, 104 and 40. So again, the Orks are still having the lion's share of the econ at the moment. Stealth ship teams could be doing a good job at taking down these critical locations. Orks not gone for any vehicles at the moment. Very interesting. Might be an idea to get some war trucks to make these guys maneuver around a bit quicker. Very aggressive charges with these knobs. Looks like Yang Wenli is going for the critical location victory. Or at least just keeping it long enough to maybe force the Tau to engage and move their troops in a way that's less than ideal, just to catch them out of position. There's a lot of firepower. That devilfish, well, granted the actual DPS output is very low, but the firing rate is so quick that it doesn't really matter. Peppering them with loads of low damage bullets, all the same thing really. Fire warriors making their mark over on the distance, and this Mega Armor Knob actually in a really bad position here. He's going to get caught, and he's just such a super expensive lad to lose. Generally, Orc players don't tend to go for the Mega Armor Knob. I wonder if they went for them just for the additional infiltration detection, which would make sense, but then it wouldn't make sense for them to leave them on their own. So now the Orcs are on the back foot. With all their population stuff been put on the front lines, are going to be really, really careful. This stuff goes down, the Orcs go down too. But the Tau deciding to go into this little open space here. Maybe putting pressure on this side rather than this side, just because there's less shooty bits for the Orcs to make use of. Have you gone for upgrades on these guys as well? Rockets. Yes, you've gone for a rocket on one of them. just to help with damaging any of the vehicles that come nearby. Tower command on quite, well, not low health, but yellow health is never a pretty place to be. And a second boys hut. War boss finished. Are you in? You're in tier 3? No, you've not got your... No, because you need your extra armor to get the unlimited slugger boy upgrade. Big Mech teleports in. Beautiful blast on the devilfish. That's not moving anywhere anytime soon. Rocket boys take down one devilfish. Knobs falling down very, very quickly. Big Mech also been taken down as well as the Pathfinder. Pardon me. As the Pathfinders get a marker light on them. Flash gates being tied up by the Kroot carnivores. The Mad Dog does put the fighting juice on them to keep them alive for a little bit longer. And the Tank Busters, no infiltration on them. So they've been sniped out a little bit. Still got one left. They've been double flash gets, nothing to sniff at, but the tower don't mind a ranged engagement. It will outrange them all day long. The last of the shooter boys are dead. Need to get that Big Mech back online. Another Mad Doc as well. Like, such a precarious scenario here. Fine juice on the flash gates. At this point, really no point in engaging with them until the fine juice fades away. So, falling back for now. They've also got these snare traps that they might be able to snag them on. Indeed, going to get one squad on. An FCAS builder on the front lines to repair things. Oh, how the turntables. At this stage, maybe the tower would benefit from investing in their economy just a smidgen.
Until taken hold victory.
There we go, another plasma generator. 137 and 49. And 140 and 39. So, definitely getting some economic parity going on there. Yang Wenli got the countdown still going on. And one Storm Boy still alive. Not giving up. He's on capping duty, that kid. That's going down the centre. Will swiftly knock out that stealth suit team. Mad Doc seems to be on a journey on his own. Imagine he's a loose Mad Doc. Ready to pop down a burner bomb. Now this is a dangerous scenario. The Orks will struggle to retreat from this should the battle go south, but actually the Big Mech gives them the old dozy dirt. Marker light goes on them, so taking more damage from ranged attacks. Flash gates splitting themselves up just a smidgen. And the Firewall is not really committing to the bit here. Oh, that's because the Mad Doc was going to come in and put some fight juice on them. There we go, so a couple of vehicles destroyed. Listening post also taken down as well. Orks making the Tau think that they were going to go in for a brain-dead assault, but no, they were a bit cunning there. A bit cunning and brutal, rather than being brutal and cunning. Good heavens, you could tell that these players absolutely know what they're doing. Remarkable skill and tactics from both the Orks and the Tau here. The Orks know full well that going in here, these lads on the ridge won't be able to do much at them. So attacking from this angle, it's not very favourable. Going this way or down this way will benefit them more than attacking round downs here. But they were thinking about it. Yang Wenli about to go full Orc, but you never go full Orc, even though it feels really good. And even going for some Power Claws. Oh, you know he's got extra money when the Orcs start investing in Power Claws. And right on top of the ridge, to surround on the troop carrier. Not doing much damage. There we go, there's that zap. Marker light Oh dear, yeah, those guys will go down pretty quickly. There's the war, I think. Oh, so that's more fighting juice. Hard to tell, really, that the war and the fighting juice, in my eyes, because of the redness, just kind of on the same kind of vibes. And now, actually, the town are being blocked off by their own ridge here. So by 10 of the old bucks using their defences against them. The Barracuda in the air. We're losing all the plasma generators. That's going to be very expensive to replace. And Orks in the late game, you don't want to fall behind on them. Just because that's where they could just basically... Oh well, that's a rubbish scenario. As they were building the coalition centre as well. I mean, one really, really well-placed ethereal bomb could do a significant amount of damage to the Orks. It'd take them a fair while to rebuild their fighting army. So counterattack might be it, but it's be very difficult to pull off. There is a sliver of hope, but it is the faintest of slivers. But if he can do it, my God, definitely we'll be getting some beers bought from at the pub or whatever drinking establishments these gentlemen frequent. That's a lot of elite Orks. But triple Barracudas and also that Marker Light brings them down quite quickly. Being snare chopped as well, so really just getting all the things thrown at them in their general direction. There's the ethereal, right? Okay, this is the chance. The war off, fighting juice or whatever, that's been activated. They're all bunched up in a small little ball. This is the time, this is the place. It all comes down, potentially. So be really careful. And he gets it going. Oh, he's gonna edge. Oh, he's gonna move right there. Smack bang in the middle. There it goes. Not quite get. Oh dear, no. Not quite where I wanted to be. Oh, that's sad. I mean, the cooldown will come off eventually. But the Orcs now know that that's free. That's done. So, I suppose Tower just need to survive until they can do that again. Are they rebuilding the HQ? They look at the Kion command post. For reasons I'm not sure why. Suppose just because they need to buff up the infantry as much as they can with those metallurgic upgrades. They still have their upgrade building. No, they don't. They do not. But they can't afford to spend any more money on rebuilding anything, I guess. Gotta make do with what they have. And, oh, they've gone for the counter-assault, but... Oh, dear, the Orcs are going to come in. Take out all the buildings. Come on, Ethereal. You've got a job to do. You're leading the tower for a reason. Oh, not the coalition centre. The local community building. I don't think he has it. It is quite a long cooldown on the big blue mushroom. I absolutely love how Yang Wenli's been so aggressive with that big mech constantly throughout this battle. Maybe potentially lulling them into a false sense of security. Barracudas come in for some firing goodness. Got some stealth ships also being involved as well. But it seems that no matter how much firepower is thrown the Orcs' way, their numbers just remain consistent. Going for a decap just to add insult to injury. Here he comes. Show him the good stuff. There he is. There we are. Right in the middle. But it's such a hard ability to get off. About to get flanked by that squig off, and they said, no, thank you. We missed with our big blue fet, and we're not about to get munched by the old squig off here. So what an absolutely fantastic game. I think both players basically did textbook, exactly what you're meant to do in this kind of matchup all the way through, but the Orcs just managing to crack on and get that critical mass of their elite late game units. And there was not much that the tower could do, really, towards the end, so there we go. That was the game for you. So cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home, and if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. One pound a month gets you once a game a week, and there is also Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. As for Mr. Landshark, pleasure as always never short. Now, see you in a bit. Peace.